Started with me texting
you know
you.
who else was texting me? It was you. And you were complaining that you took the Saints. I told you to take the Saints.
I know, no, but I was banging my head basically all afternoon watching that game. Against my better judgment, I took the Saints, which I even said they've knocked me out the last 2 years. I was not going to take the Saints. I actually had Pittsburgh. I mean, I flip-flopped at the last minute, and I took the Saints, and then I just wanted to shoot the television all day long. So I'm texting Chris, I can't believe I did this, but I was blaming myself. I was just mad that I went against my better.
Blaming me. You were just expressing your anguish. But I had also sat next to you and told you to take the Saints.
Oh,
so, you were.
But I sat next to you and told you there's something about gut, and you said don't use your bias. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm still going to follow what I believe.
Gut is fine, but not biased gut.
Oh, it was miserable,
like
miserable.
Gut, like,
miserable.
oh, I have a feeling, but not like, oh, this happened to me before. I've been victimized. That's not a good. Anyway. They won. You're not the only one that texted me, though. This guy texted me. It was early in the fourth quarter, the early games. It was like, maybe 15 minutes left. And he goes, thanks a lot, dude, or something like that.
He texted you?
He texted me. No, he tweeted me. Sorry,
okay.
Tweeted me. How would he text me?
Yeah.
You have a very close personal relationship.
All your Twitter followers?
I don't give out my cell number. No, he tweeted me, and he was like, thanks a lot. Just because of you, I switched from the Lions to the Saints.
Oh.
And I wish I hadn't responded so quickly because it would have been much more devastating later, but I just said, always think for yourself. And I really mean that. I mean, look, you're making the choice. I'm going to convince you or make my case. You got to buy the case or not buy the case. I mean, you're an adult. It's your money, your pick.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, 10 minutes later, he's like, oh, my God, thank you so much. I would have lost, but, the Bills won.
Well, at least he came back and thanked you, because honestly, a lot of people would just sort of like,
how embarrassing.
Tuck their tail.
I mean, come on, you can't just leave that tweet out there without correcting it.
If he hadn't thanked you, would you have tweeted back at him like, how you feeling now, bro?
No,
you don't really talk.
I will sometimes if somebody does it, but I just, because I went with a different tack, which was think for yourself, I couldn't come back and say, you see, you should have followed me.
Well, I was going to tell you, I mean, there's some people who have, publicists that make sure they say nice things on Twitter. Right. You need an asshole publicist to make sure they come back and fire people who are saying wrong things to you. Yeah. To since you can't do it, have someone else be your mean guy.
Oh.
I'm up for that job.
Sometimes, you want that job? Okay. I would love people to be mean to a lot of the trolls.
There's some people watching these videos that are really mean to me. It's just kind of really funny.
Really?
Oh yeah, the name calling. Some guy didn't like when I was talking about Phillip Rivers being a tool. Well, I'm sorry, Bolo type guy's a tool.
Got to find the right name calls.
Yeah, well, I thought they were making fun of us mostly and listen to Heather. She's the only one who knows what she's talking about.
I did see that. I really appreciated that because I was right.
Yeah. You're right about something. I don't know.
All right, anyway, Survivor though. We're talking about Survivor.
So,
who are we taking this week? I can't believe I made it. Who did you take?
I took Denver in one and Green Bay in the other. Or maybe I used Green Bay in one and New Orleans in the other in the rebuy pool.
That was easy. Green Bay. I can take a Thursday night game.
Green
All right,
Bay
where are those games?
All right, so there's really 5 teams you can use, and none of them are that rock solid this week. There's no double-digit favorite, right? You usually want...
No, but Seattle.
Not double-digit, though.
Oh, you're right.
They're 8.5, and Dallas is not. They're not toothless. They can block.
They're no Phillip Rivers.
No, I mean Phillip Rivers is good. I mean Dallas is kind of like the Chargers a little bit, and they used to be. I still don't trust. Okay, so there's Seattle, who I actually probably would take honestly this week, but I got to look at the distribution. I think a lot of people will save Seattle for later, so I don't think they're going to be heavily used. So my pick is likely to be Seattle.
Yeah.
I always have to look at the distribution of picks. I will never make my pick just based on the games themselves. Yeah. But I think this one will be evenly spread out.
But where's the best place to go? It's like officepools.com, right? Is what you said.
I like that one better, although they have a lot of funky pools like our rebuy pool, which skew the data. But I think like Yahoo and ESPN have so many free pools.
Okay.
You don't want people not playing for money influencing the distribution, because that's just like they do whatever the hell they want.
So officepools.com is
officefootballpools.com. I would, I think you have to have a login. I think you have to be in a pool. I don't know, maybe not. But you go to search all picks and you look at the polling data. 40% are on this team, 35 are on this team. So I'd probably the Seahawks. The other games that I think are takeable are the Chargers on the road in Oakland. They've had a bad history in Oakland, but Oakland is such a doormat. That line is 7. I could see.
Wait, who just got signed to Oakland?
Who got signed up? Oh, well, they fired their coach.
Yeah, but no, some receiver just went. Who just? Kenbrell Tompkins, that's right. Maybe I'll leave him on my bench, actually.
I'm surprised the line didn't move 3 or 4 points after the Kenbrell Tompkins signing.
Hey, you never know.
So
Chargers.
So there's that. But those are 2 road games. I mean, that's a road game. And the other road game is Denver, your Broncos, at the Jets. Now, if Decker plays, I think the Jets have some hope. I think without Decker, it is just so hopeless.
Why? Because he's a good receiver? Because it's like his revenge game?
I don't care about that
He
revenge
left,
nonsense.
anyway.
I don't. It's not revenge.
Right.
It's like revenge on making me a star and a multimillionaire.
That's exactly what happened too. You're right.
But I do think that he's good, and these other guys, Curley is like maybe my size at best, and not even faster than me. I mean, these guys are like they have nobody. They have this guy Greg Salas. They have David Nelson. They just don't have targets, and so Geno Michael Vick is not the question. The question is, can they have somewhere to throw the ball? So if Decker is healthy, I think they have.
You think that they're going to give Denver a problem?
Well, I mean, look, if you don't think they're going to give Denver a problem no matter what, then go to Vegas and put all your money on Denver. You only have to lay 4-1.
I would put all my money on Denver this week against the Jets.
All your money?
Well, it's not that much.
Well, that's a good point. That's an excellent point. But what the point is, you can always do that if you want. But the thing is, there is a real 20-25% chance the Jets win that game.
The Jets are not winning that game.
Well, there's nothing to. I mean, not that this affects this particular game, but I was thinking you said they're in Jersey for the game. So I mean, at some point, it's October. We're approaching mid-October. Weather's changing, and I know we live in Southern California. We never think about weather changing and how it affects certain running games. We got rain, wind, and we know Denver has their weather too, so they're used to it at least. But I mean, as far as passing game versus having to take it on the ground, stuff like that, what's going to change as far as those types of games?
It would be better if it were like December and it were maybe 100 degrees colder. It was like negative 50.
At least maybe some wind or rain or something.
Wind would be good.
I was surprised that this is going back to Notre Dame last week was disastrous. It was horrible there, and I was like, this is we've changed already.
Right.
So I mean.
Yeah,
going up to Jersey, who knows?
Somewhere. Yeah. I know it's 100 degrees right now here every freaking day.
It's October,
it's the never-ending summer is what we're calling it here. Okay, so
those are three.
But people might be saving Denver and Seattle actually.
Right, and so that's going to be reflected in the owned numbers, and the teams owned. And then the last two that are viable, you could take the Titans at home against Jacksonville. I would not. Ken Wisenpunt is going to punt at the wrong time.
You're not jumping on the everyone wins against Jacksonville bandwagon?
No, not this week. I mean, I may lay the points with the Titans because I think that sometimes when you get beat up and you're having a bad year, you beat the crap out you. Then you need to bully some easy, the weakling, right. And that's Jacksonville. But I don't trust them in Survivor because they're not strong enough to trust. So it's like against the spread, it's like you're wrong. It's 50-50, whatever. But in Survivor, you just can't afford to be wrong going out on a limb with a team like Tennessee. So I probably would not, although I think some people will take them to use them up this week for the reason you said.
Yeah, exactly.
The going against Jacksonville. And then the last team that's viable is the Bengals at home against Carolina. I like Cincy at home. I'm laying the points at the spread, but Cam Newton played really well last week, and it makes me a little nervous.
It's a hard game to take.
Yeah.
It's just to figure exactly what's going to happen in that game, too.
One and done. Well, we'll see.
Seattle's most likely my pick.
Yeah.
But I'll write the column up on Wednesday night.